Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mad Rares with Merlini, and this is for the November 18th Playday. And we only have 3 matches for today. The HyperX D2L has ended, and I looked on Join Dota as well as Gosu Gamers and couldn't find any other games. So only a set amount of rares to be won and or lost today. So the first one that we have is the Asus Rogue Dream League best of one. These are all 3 best of ones. Liquid versus EG. I think that these two teams have faced off a few times before. Liquid definitely got the upper hand on them, though. I believe the odds were closer to 70-30 in the past few ones, but Liquid, after just 1-0ing them and 2-0ing them a few times, the odds have shifted slightly in favor of Liquid. I think the true odds are probably around 75-25, and I will be betting on Liquid at these odds. They're just a much safer bet, and Liquid's drafting skills are just way better than EG's, and I think they could win simply just based on the draft alone, similar to how the games 2 and 3 of Fnatic and EG turned out today. And even without the drafting factor, though, Liquid's just far better as a team. Their mid-game decision-making skills are way better. They don't get picked off as often, and their map control and movement around the map as a whole is just a lot better. And EG is extremely weak at that. I think another factor to consider is that MSS has been pretty weak in mid, and I've seen a lot of his heroes. I've seen his Puck, I've seen his Bat Rider, I've seen his Storm Spirit, and those 3 or 4 heroes are actually pretty weak, I think, compared to other competitive players. However, he does have a really good Timber Cell and Mag, but they don't really draft that for him very often. And he is just not that good at controlling the tempo, whereas I think Boba and Koifa are much, much better at doing so. Last but not least, Liquid is just on a ridiculous streak. And as they say, trend is your friend. Going with Liquid at these odds, if it changes to like 78-22, I may consider changing. The next one that we have is Fnatic EU versus Liquid. And these two teams have actually faced off a few times before. Liquid has 2-0'd Fnatic, I think, just this past week. And another thing is that Liquid actually lost to Fnatic twice in 2 best of ones when they were in Korea for the Nexon Invitational. That was a couple of weeks ago, and Liquid have just been a lot more consistent then. I don't know whether it was like the land factor or not. Fnatic did draft Tiny Wisp one of those games, and they haven't been able to draft that for quite some time now. Fnatic, they were at their peak, I'd say 1 or 2 weeks ago, but now they've definitely plateaued out. They are much more predictable and much less flexible than they used to be. And Liquid, on the other hand, they've just been looking really good. Talked about it in the previous matchup. An upset is slightly more likely because of a best of one, but I'm still comfortable with a Fnatic EU or betting against Fnatic EU in this, and I will be placing my rares on Liquid. I'd say it's about 65-35 in favor of Liquid. And the last one that we have is EG versus Fnatic, a rematch from today's D2L matchup. And this is a best of one, so it's an upset is more likely. And I think that EG is slightly underrated in this matchup. EG had an extremely underwhelming second and third game draft. Game 2, they had a Night Stalker that just did not fit into their Anti-Mage and Nature's Prophet split push lineup. Game 3, they had a Potom, which couldn't lock down any of the other heroes on Fnatic. They had a Lifestealer, a Storm Spirit, and Timbersaw, and pretty much no stuns or silences to deal with any of those heroes, and Fnatic just absolutely rolled them. They also got caught out, EG did, like at crucial moments, even during the game that they won, which makes me very worried for EG. And Fnatic just absolutely dominated the third game, whereas EG didn't really win their game convincingly at all. But all things being said, EG did 2-0 Fnatic just the other day, so I think these odds should be a little bit closer than they actually are. I'd say 45-55 in favor of Fnatic. I will be looking at the other 2 matchups for today to see how these teams have been performing, see if EG's drafting is up to par, and see if Fnatic's play style and early movement is up to par. So stay tuned on the Dota 2 Lounge Bets thread for updates on those, and as usual I'll be updating those throughout the Playday. Thanks guys for tuning into another episode. If you like my videos, you can subscribe to me at youtube.com/MerliniDota. I do this betting analysis and odds analysis every day, and I will be casting MLG next week, and I will still try to be releasing videos there. If not, then I'll try my best to at least keep up a text post. So thanks guys, have a good one.